Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a video, a longer form video to explain how I do stocks and crypto trading, swing trading. Um, I've been testing out this strategy for the past 3 months or so, been learning a lot, and that's one reason I haven't really been posting any kind of long videos. But now that I feel like I got a good hang of it, and again, you're never done learning with this stuff, but I could say that in January and February, I turned my small investment, I turned it into a 75% return in 2 months, just mostly trading stocks, maybe about 20% of crypto. And so I kind of want to show you what I do, and you can maybe learn from that. Again, not financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I do. I want to show it to you. And so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys. So I want to show you the simplicity of my strategy, my swing trading strategy for stocks and crypto. And so it's kind of very simple, very simple. So let's see. Let me show you. Let me see what other one I could start with. I guess we can start with this one. This is Intel. All right. So I made some good money in Intel. Look at the simplicity of this. Now, I drew these lines, the white lines right here, this white line, I drew that, this white line, this one as well. But I drew this and then I did a Fibonacci retracement, which is basically these lines right here. That's Fibonacci retracement. And that those are the two indicators I go off of. If my lines and then when I do the fib retracement, they line up pretty close, then you know that those are strong resistance and support lines. So as you see for the past while, Intel has been perfectly staying in this channel. Now this is a parallel, or sorry, horizontal trend line. Right now it's sitting in. However, if you look close here, this starting to look like a wedge. A wedge, usually by the end of the wedge, which is where we're at now, it's needing to either break out or break down. So that's something to keep an eye on. We're going to talk more about it later, but this is a wedge that is I'm sure a lot of what's going to happen, it will depend on the general broader market. The other thing I look at is RSI. Again, RSI, I mostly keep an eye on for extremely oversold and overbought areas where, like, if as you see right here, I'm sure you could see my little lines here that I'm moving, my cursor, my little more cursor on the screen. Anyways, here it was way oversold. Look at that. It broke through the trend line a while back, and each one of these is a day. So it broke through, but it didn't confirm. It fell right back down, and look at how it went almost all the way down, came back up. So like right here would have been a great time to buy in because you could have had a nice fatty return. Again, it touched the line. It did not break through. Actually, this one, it touched my line that I drew, not the fib retracement. So that was kind of cool to watch. It came back down. Same thing at the bottom. It's bouncing around right now, and right now it really has no direction. It doesn't know where it wants to go. All I know is that I just now drew this little wedge pattern, which means that it will be breaking out. When it gets closer here, which is basically any day, today or tomorrow, is going to be either breaking out or breaking down. Anyways, and then of course the volume, makes a huge difference too. Right now there's very little volume. Sorry, my external microphone stopped working for some reason, so I had to get just a pair of headphones. Hopefully you can hear me pretty well. Anyways, so that's kind of what I go off of, and usually it works really well. Now, I do got to say, you got to be careful because at some point you don't want to FOMO in. So if this is nowhere, you don't want to buy it. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's neither at the top of its resistance line or at the bottom of its support. It's kind of right in the middle right here. And while this is technically a resistance or a support line right here, technically I could draw another line right here and it would coincide very nicely. Like, watch this. There's a trend line where it's at right now. If I take this line and I draw it straight parallel, just straight back, look at that. It's right there. So that's kind of another support line, but judging that it's in a wedge pattern is going to break out one way or another. And this specific wedge pattern, even though it kind of looks like a bullish consolidation, but it might not be. So just, something to keep an eye on. If it was right here, I would say that would be a good buying opportunity. So if it drops, it's a good buying opportunity. If it goes up here, well, then you just watch, see if it goes back down. If it breaks through um, and confirms, then you're off to the races to the next support line. So, there's that. Now with crypto, I'm sure a lot of you want to know about crypto. Let's look at XRP, for example. XRP, look at this. I drew this wedge pattern a long time ago. These are, again, daily candles, each one of these. I drew it a long time ago, but if it has since broken out. It's broken out, and it kind of looks like a bullish consolidation, even though, again, it's nearing its wedge pattern towards the end of this wedge pattern. And as you see, it's just like the Intel stock. It's just right there. It's ready to break out or break down. And, this to me looks like a bullish consolidation. And another thing to keep an eye on, look at that, 4 straight down days. Usually after the 4th day, it becomes a higher chance that it was going to actually reverse and go the other way, which would be up. If this was day 5 red still, I would definitely be considering buying. However, in crypto, the problem is you got to keep an eye on the Big Daddy, and that's called Bitcoin, because nothing in crypto moves independent of each other usually, every now and then, but usually it kind of goes along with Bitcoin. And so that's the other thing you want to use as an indicator to see where you're going. And here, Bitcoin, same thing. It's not sure where it wants to go. Here is a parallel uptrending channel. It tried to break through. It didn't quite make it. Now it's kind of retracing. And to me, it looks like it wants to retrace back to some sort of a, lower level, maybe right here, and then bounce up and go higher. Or at least it might come down to, you see right there, I don't know if you can see where I'm drawing, but there's another little support line at, the lower 91,000. It might come down here and then try to break through to that, level. Again, it has to do with the market. And right now, market, well, it kind of depends on Trump. A lot of these indicators don't work when Trump goes and tweets something. Everything just goes out the window at that point. But in a normal market, this works really well. Like I said, I used this strategy, and I think I had like 8 out of 10 positive trades. Now again, I don't get too greedy. If I made 10 to 15%, I sell, and then I'll find another opportunity. Don't FOMO in. Don't go. If you're not sure, if it's not a very strong signal where it's at, then you just stay out until it gets there. If, for example, say it gets down to this level right there, 87,000, the 236 Fibonacci level, it's a great opportunity to get in for at least a short trade, because then it'll bounce back up here. You just made 10%. So this is kind of what I go off of. Nothing crazy, nothing. Yeah, like a lot of influencers have so many different indicators, moving averages and everything. And I do have a moving average indicator here to EMA, to kind of keep an eye where it's going. But and to me, it kind of looks like it's getting, these two are going to touch at some point, and that's why I'm thinking it might come down lower, and then it would be a good time to get in. And again, depends on the market. And right now, the stock market has been in the green for the past like 7 or 8 days. Today, it's kind of in the red, but barely. So I'm seeing kind of a dump possible before we go higher. Also, well, we could talk about that another time, but the double top look right here, I'm not really super happy about, and it seems to me this is rolling over. So that's why you can't really go off of that when you're like looking at cryptos like XRP, where this technically would be, it should be, ripping higher from here. Like based on XRP right now, I'll be buying. I'd be buying if that was me, not financial advisor for you. But again, because Bitcoin is where it's at, it's like, do you want to risk it? Maybe, maybe not. If it comes down to this level right here, definitely buying $1.64. Heck yeah, that's going to be a strong support. somewhere $1.50, $1.64, and then if it comes down to $1.25, there's another support. So you get my drift. So that's kind of what I go off of. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want more of these videos, this is my first one trying to explain what I do. So if I'm confusing, let me know. I'll try to be a little more detailed in the next video. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you like my stuff.